Hey, hey, Black creatives, how are you? We are back for another think piece. It is March, it is Women's History Month. Um, it is also the start to spring soon. Spring equinox is in this month. The cherry blossoms start blossoming this month. There is a lot of growth, a lot of progress, a lot of openness, a lot of receiving to happen in this month. But there are also a lot of discussions we should have in this month. Um, I put up a post to open Women's History Month with Black Tattoo Anthology, resharing a podcast interview with who I call Mama Jackie. Mama Jackie is Jackie Gresham. I call her Mama Jackie out of sincere respect and honor because I consider her the mother of us all when it comes to Black tattoo culture. She is the first most prominent Black female tattoo artist, and she's been at it for almost 50 years now, which is amazing. A lot of us these days get into the industry without even considering foresight of how long we could be in the industry, what impact we can make. We just want to share our art. We just kind of want to be, you just kind of want to exist, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the elevation, so as I look at the lineage, the legacy that is Mama Jackie, I also look at and observe matriarchy, right? Matriarchy in tattoo culture as it relates to matriarchy in the Black family structure, right? You always had that grandma who just kind of kept things together. You always had someone who was doing like the nurturing of the family. And one thing that I find that is missing from Black tattoo culture is the follow-up of nurturers, of matriarchs within our lineages, within our culture in general. We have patriarchy, we have our patriarchal lineages, and we can easily identify them. In fact, there are a lot of them coming up in Black tattoo culture, or in the talks in tattoo rants, raves, and rituals. So there are tons of them coming up. Okay, so where was I? I'm doing a cleansing ritual at this moment in my studio, or I just got finished completing one. And with that, the studio and the whole hall was smoky, but everybody's like, but it smells good. So everybody's just like, what's happening? So I let them know what was happening, and they were like, we appreciate you because it helps with, all the other businesses. So everybody's got their doors opened and receiving whatever blessings come from this clearing ritual that I do in my business to start spring. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Um, so as it relates to Black tattoo culture, we don't have a lot in terms of matriarchy. Now, what I realize in a lot of Black families is that matriarchy, like, it is a preparation, the same as, like, kings prepare their next of kin to be able to take over the throne. The same thing happens in matriarchy, except we don't see that happen often in Black tattoo culture. And it, of course, means that it doesn't happen often, and you won't see it in or you don't see it in, I'm sorry, you don't see it in Black culture often. And that means that you're not going to see that tradition, that importance of passing things down, being able to nurture a space, being able to naturally step into your leadership. Those things of being a matriarch, you're not going to see them passed down. If you don't see them passed down in Black culture in general, you're not going to see them passed down in Black tattoo culture. So things that affect our overall culture, that affect our, how we commune with each other, how we grow, how we develop, those things that do affect Black culture, of course, affect Black tattoo culture, because Black tattoo culture is only a subculture within the larger of the community, right? Um, so yeah, so when it's come to that, it's really been what happens in these situations. So, and forgive me, I'm kind of rambling because it's something that's been on my mind. I'm still organizing my thoughts around it, and it's something I've just been observing. Now, if you've been on my Instagram, I put up a post about Mama Jackie, and I put up some statistics because in tattoo culture, the wildest thing is that we only represent about 6%. Black tattoo artists, period, represent about 6% of the overall culture. Now, within tattoo culture in general, women only represent about 25%. If we represent 6%, I can guarantee you, in terms of women, we only represent maybe about 3%. That's it. Just from doing the math, just from, seeing the pattern. We probably only represent Black women probably only represent about 3%. So we've gone from having, 1 to 2 Black prominent female tattoo artists to having hundreds, not thousands, only hundreds. And we still got some work to do. Um, I think lineage and matriarchy is on my heart because I'm the second. I'm the second Black female tattoo artist, or most prominent Black female tattoo artist for the US. You can trace this back by looking at Color Outside the Lines and dating. You can literally date every artist who comes up in Color Outside the Lines. Most of the Black artists featured there are the ones that Maya Bailey found, as we've all been really, really like searching for each other. Just like, are there any other Black tattoo artists out there? Hello. Hello. And we're screaming into the void of MySpace and shit. If you go back to the last podcast with me and Ella Sheba, where we're talking, and I literally talk about how we share how we're looking for each other. Everybody's looking. And I told her how that was actually a part of my apprenticeship, to look every day for Black tattoo artists every day. That was literally a part of my training. And not because, I needed the skill set of being able to find us, but because we needed to be able to find each other. It wasn't a skill set that I was trying to hone, or, my tattoo master was like, hone a skill set. It was like, nah, the skill set is, let's find our folks. Let's find our community. So there was that. So matriarchy is just such a big thing. Um, you know, uh I have an unpopular opinion, about matriarchy and Black tattoo culture. And my unpopular opinion is that there should be few. It's a very specialized space. And when it comes to nurturing, everybody is not to have their hands in the pot. That doesn't mean that we don't train other matriarchs to come up, or we don't train matriarchs to be able to hold their own space. What it does mean is that as we train matriarchs, we make sure that they are well qualified for these spaces, for these leadership roles. Being a matriarch is a leadership role. It is like the CEO of CEOs of all CEOs, because matriarchs deal with not just getting shit done, but the wellness, the nurturing, the holisticness of everything, not just getting shit done. Mama Jackie, she was able to create boundaries of how to treat a Black female tattoo artist. And I think things like that should be passed down. She's showing up more. I love it. So we can actually see her, we can commune with her. And with that, we're able to talk more about what's happening with Black tattoo culture, and we can hear her concerns and answer them. Um, so yeah, so just a lot of babbling about Black matriarchy or matriarchal suits in Black tattoo culture, and in Black culture in general. I think Women's History Month is a time to look at and honor the matriarchs. I also think it's a time to consider what gaping holes we have and where matriarchs need to be, and we need to allow a space for matriarchs to step up. I do think that in Black tattoo culture, in terms of, being an overall culture that, each shop should have a matriarch. I do believe that the culture overall should have a circle of matriarchs. I do believe that, it's not just enough to have just the ladies and have the ladies around and together, but to have the leading ladies. The leading ladies are those who step into their roles of leadership, who continue to push the culture forward, but also gatekeep and gatekeep with a sternness, with an authority. Matriarchs, are the keepers of culture. So to be able to be a keeper of culture in this space, I think is very extremely special. I think it is something that is extremely needed, because the matriarchs often hold the stories of those cultures. When you look at, as much as we don't understand the culture of geishas, and how they fit in the society in terms of Japanese culture, geisha were artisans and they were the keepers of culture. So, they taught you about the traditions within the cultures and things like that. They did things in a very traditional way. So even as things progressed in modern world, they still kept the traditional culture. They still kept the traditional ways. Now, you didn't just become a geisha and be like, yeah, no, there were years of training. You had to be, and you still had to be within a household. Your household and your was your lineage. Within your lineage, there are things that were negative and positive. So depending on which lineage, which household essentially you were a part of, would depend on whether you were able to, how you would progress, how things would happen. So there's that. But you would apprentice for a very, very long time, and there were levels to this shit. I think I think uh I think that's the thing that, we forget that in tattoo culture in general, it's levels to this shit. In Black tattoo culture, there are levels to this shit, and we should honor those levels, not just try and, like skip the whole staircase. Nobody walks up the staircase like by just skipping all the steps. The only people who are able to do that by skipping all the steps are people who are paraplegic, people who can't walk anymore, people who have to use like um the seat to go up the steps. And even then, that seat goes up each step. So it's not like just like an elevator from point A to point B. You can take the elevator, and that's what matriarchs help you do, is to be able to take the elevator, but there's still going to be things that you're going to have to slow from. There are still going to be things within that, those nuances, those things that you're going to have to nurture. And matriarchs not only help you take the elevator, but they help you they help you take the elevator, but also nurture the things in between, like those steps in between, those nuances, those slow growth type of moments. Um, so yeah, I don't really know what to tell you. And I would love for you guys to join the conversation. Let me know what you guys think about matriarchy. Just, as you observe your own life, think about your grandmothers, your mothers, what they've been able to pass down, what they've been able to impart to you, and how that fits and how that serves you in your business life, how that serves you in your creative life, how that serves you in life in general. And consider what that could look like. Like let's go on a vision quest of what tattoo would look like with matriarchy. We see matriarchy in Black tattoo or Black Panther. Angela Bassett, she plays a matriarch. you know, she's like a grand advisor. So, people, her family leans on her for her wisdom. Matriarchs are filled like they're a fountain filled with fucking wisdom. Um, so being able to pass that power down, being able to pass that knowledge down in Black tattoo culture, I think is something that is missing, and I think that it is something that is special. We of course have apprenticeships, but what does that look like to learn from a matriarch? What does that look like to honor and have matriarchs, to have a sacred space where it's like these are the matriarchs, these are the reverend mothers. Okay, I just watched Dune last night. Shut up. But But these are the things that I've been looking at for a long time in tattoo culture, you know. Technically, I'm the second most prominent Black female. I am dubbed the queen among kings because my strongest space is among men. I'm the youngest. I'm a baby girl. And I was raised by what I call my pack of wolves. I talk about them a lot in my own book. But I was raised by what I call my pack of wolves. And the men, those are the men in my family, my big brothers. And they are significantly older than me, so much older that I would be considered the only child technically by the time I come along. So with that being the only girl and the youngest, and being raised by them, they've given me everything that I needed to know and understand about men and about how men operate. And they're like, okay, now you understand this. Put your girly swag on it. And I held close to my grandma. So she taught me a lot of things in terms of like how you hold yourself around men, how how you teach them how to, or how you essentially train them to respect you, by doing certain things to respect yourself, certain things to be able to communicate like, nah, I'm not the one, or not, things like that. And I think it's time to identify matriarchs in tattoo culture. I think it's time to identify them. I think it's time to, have matriarchs do more training of Black tattoo artists in general. And even if not doing more training of Black tattoo artists, being able to be in these circles and in these in these conversations, I think that they should be, that they're very important, right? um in Ifa, right? I am a practitioner, so in Ifa we have Ianifas. Yanifas are mothers. They're essentially, female priests, lady priests, woman priests, whatever term, butters your toast. But with that, being able to have them in that space, they are guides, they are leaders, they don't just assist babalawos, which are male priests. Um, they are leaders in their own right. They have certain things that they will pass down in terms of how you assist in, in a ritual, how you may support a babalawo, even if you're not like married or anything like that. And their swag is a bit more nurturing. It's a bit different than a babalawo, but you get both male and female support. You get both masculine and feminine support, divine masculine and feminine support. And I think that's the part. That's the part. There it is. There are plenty divine masculines in Black tattoo culture. We are going through a podcast and we will be listening to and meeting a whole lot of them, the OGs, right? But now we need to also start identifying and making space for the divine feminine and bring this back into a balance as we go forward and raise more tattoo artists so that they understand, Black tattoo culture isn't just tattoo culture. Black tattoo culture is far more fucking special, far more fucking special. So in that, being able to say, Black tattoo culture is special. Black tattoo culture should not follow tattoo culture under no circumstances. Black tattoo culture, we shouldn't be, buying from our white counterparts. We need to have our own economics. We need to have our own stores. We need to have our own places where we could buy from each other, you know, small batches of anything, you know, tons of stuff. But we should have those within ourselves. We should mimic a family structure. Black tattoo culture should. Yeah, we should. We should want to be more together than apart. Men helping women, women helping men within the culture. Yeah, we should. Yeah. We should want to see ourselves as brothers and sisters within Black tattoo culture. We should want to work on Black skin. We should want to nurture Black people. We should stop wanting the gaze of our white counterparts. Stop working for their approval and start working for the approval of our own community. Yeah, we should. This, I think, is the heartbeat of Black matriarchs within Black tattoo culture. For us, by us. FUBU wasn't just a brand, damn it. It's a whole movement. It's a whole movement, and it's a whole true ass statement. Um, so yeah, I think that's something that is extremely important. I think that is something that we should consider. So I'm going to sit with this a little bit more. There will probably be a blog post. This month is extremely, extremely fun. I'm just going to pull this up and rattle off to you a little bit of what's to come for this month. Um, excuse me, what's to come for this month. So this month we have, ooh, okay, no, that wasn't attractive, but I'm trying to find what we have this month. Hold, please. All right, so we're back. So 3 podcast drops this month. We will have Maya Bailey. We will have Fuzzy Wuzums. I really like saying their name, Fuzzy Wuzums. Jalen. And uh we will have Seven. Seven's going to enter the chat. So Maya Bailey we have a conversation with Maya Bailey by himself. It is an older conversation where we were talking one-on-one. Just so you know, Maya Bailey is not just an OG. To me, he is my big brother. So when we talk about matriarchs, we talk about, lineages and things like that. You can actually trace me back to Maya Bailey and vice versa. As a part of my own lineage, I come from Pins and Needles Tattoo in Washington, D.C. on U Street under the amazing Christopher Mensah. Um, Man of few words. But when Maya started going out to do Color Outside the Lines, Maya and Tuki are among the first Black tattoo artists that we were able to connect with. And then Maya made a plan to come up to DC from Atlanta. And Maya Maya almost got hit by accident because he walked up behind me and I think he touched me and was like, "Hey, little lady," or something like that. And me being very very cognizant of my back, literally like reflexes started to fly first and I turned around and I think I had a screw face and he was like, "It's me, Maya Bailey," and then like all of a sudden I relaxed and I'm like, "Oh my god, what's up, bro?" All that good stuff. So yeah, so we'll be talking with Maya Bailey. It will be a spirited conversation. I think we touch on spiritual tattooing, and a few other things. I forget what all of these conversations are about in real life. I don't re-listen to them until it is time to actually post them and find the lessons that we can help you with in the mastermind. So we're not just talking in this. There is follow-up. Speaking of follow-up, or before we get to follow up, we'll also have a 2 hour conversation with Fuzzy Wuzums, and at some point Seven's going to enter the chat. Seven is another OG, another big brother of mine, and he will be coming in, and we're just going to talk, old school, new school tattoo, what we want to see for the industry, what we have seen for the industry, where we've been, where we're going, and all of those good things. So March should be pretty fun. No, there are not any ladies on the lineup, but we did open on purpose with a leading lady so that again, tattoo is very male dominated. So with that being the case, then, of course that means that we uh yeah, with that being the case, we have more male content than female content, but female content will be coming up. We will be focusing on it as the data says that there are way more females, way more ladies, way more women. And I'm trying to switch that because there are people who get all prickly when you say female, and I don't mean it in a disparaging, negative, or slight to your womanhood in any way, shape, or form. I grew up saying female. I use them interchangeably, so please forgive me. That is my speech. And it has nothing to do with trying to disparage you as a woman in any way, shape, or form, just to be clear. So with that, we don't have any women, no ladies on the lineup just yet, but we're going to work on it. And yeah, this is what we're going to have this month. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Uh, that's it for content. But if you want more lessons, you want more hands-on, you want more, I'm ready to build my business. For creatives who are ready to build their business, we do have the mastermind that we have put together. It is a private daily podcast. So you get actionable steps, things that you could think about, things that will really, really blow your mind. And you say, aha, and you can put it in action in that day, even if your business is not together. There are also many courses to help you put your business together. So if you are ready to step into your CEO life, if you are ready to step into your ownership life of being able to own a business that feeds you from your creativity, then we have put those things together. We will have workshops. There will be 3 workshops uploaded this month alone, based on our talk with Elisheba. We covered a lot of stuff in her conversation. We covered programs and grants. We covered legacy. We covered tattooing and artistic style. We covered personal journey and cultural learning, mental health and artistic expression, apprenticeships, and future plans. So in that, we are going to extract some of those notes and give you the how-tos. The things that we are going to look at is cultural learning. We're going to look at mental health and artistic expression, and I'm going to make sure a little bit of doodads of how to market yourself energetically. So yeah. Aside from that, this month I will be hosting a workshop about how to spring clean your business. So this will be before spring equinox, which is on March 19th. So because this is before spring equinox, I am going to make sure that if the workshop is not something that you can attend, the original one that I'm hosting is not a public workshop. So I'm going to make sure the workshop is recorded and it is put into the mastermind so that people who need to spring clean their business, need to spring clean their thoughts, their minds, whatever you need to spring clean energetically to make sure that these buds are blossoming, that they get the water that they need during the spring so that they can just start sprouting and growing. So we're going to make sure that is also stored in the mastermind. So if you want it, you're going to get it from there. The mastermind is $25 a month or $250 a year, just to be clear. So we try to make it as affordable as possible, without ripping ourselves off so that you can get everything that you need as a creative and continue to get everything that you need. These lessons, some lessons will be live, some lessons will be things that have already been recorded, but they are things that have not been public and will benefit your highest good in terms of building your creative business. So that's it. That's what we got going on. We got content mayhem. We got lessons for empowering ink and economics for the culture. And yeah, and I'll be on my blog. I'll be doing some energetic blogging, talking about more about creativity and spirituality this month. and what that actually looks like for me. I'll be talking more about, creating in the image of your ancestors, how creativity is my religion. Because it is. I don't know if you could tell, but creativity is my religion, and being able to pay homage to that, and a few personal stories of my own to tell my her story during this Woman's Month. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you're ready to go. So yeah, I will talk to you guys soon, and thanks for hanging out with me and my babbles this month. See you soon. Jenny. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, they say that shit on YouTube, but but things you can do. Join the mastermind, so that you can level up your business. You also get my book for free when you join the mastermind. You can subscribe so that you can get everything to your inbox. So any new episodes that come up, any updates that happen, you can get them. Um, and you can say hi. Go get active in the community, say hi, join the conversations, be a part of them, tell your story. You can also do that as well. It is on the podcast page where there is a nice shiny invite for you to tell your own tattoo story, and you can share that with us, and it will be stored. It will be a part of BTA Legacy. And it will be a part of the podcast, very possibly. So check it out. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. I'm always around for BTA. And yeah, I will see you guys for another recorded. This is a day in my life and my thoughts and my rambles next month. All right. Janae, as always, I'm rooting for you. Goodbye.